Welcome to today's Lost Souls, where we bring you the most impactful and unforgettable stories from around the world. Today, we remember the lives of remarkable individuals whose legacies continue to inspire and resonate. From iconic musicians to trailblazing activists, join us as we celebrate their extraordinary contributions and bid farewell to those who have left an indelible mark on our lives. Stay tuned for a journey through their incredible stories.
Sasha Jenkins. Sasha Jenkins, a trailblazing American journalist, filmmaker, and cultural historian, passed away at the age of 52. With a career that seamlessly blended hip-hop, storytelling, and visual artistry, Sasha was a revolutionary voice who transformed the way Black culture was represented in media. His loss is deeply felt in the world of music journalism, documentary filmmaking, and among the countless individuals he inspired throughout his remarkable life. Born in Long Island, New York, Sasha grew up during the golden age of hip-hop. From a young age, he was enamored by graffiti, beats, and rhymes, the vibrant expressions of street culture that surrounded him. What started as fascination soon evolved into a purpose. By the early 1990s, he was already establishing himself as a powerful voice in the underground scene. In 1994, Sasha co-founded Ego Trip, a magazine that quickly became a cultural phenomenon. More than just a publication, Ego Trip was a raw, unapologetic lens into the realities of urban life, race, politics, and music. It was ahead of its time, and Sasha was its heartbeat. But Sasha wasn't just a journalist, he was a storyteller in every sense of the word. His passion for narrative led him into documentary filmmaking, where he continued to amplify voices that were often ignored or misunderstood. With projects like Fresh Dressed, a Netflix documentary that explored the history of hip-hop fashion, and the award-winning Wu-Tang Clan, of Mics and Men, Sasha proved that he had a gift for unearthing the soul of a movement. His ability to blend journalism with cinematic artistry brought history to life and allowed audiences to engage deeply with the culture he so dearly loved. What truly set Sasha apart was his authenticity. He never chased fame, never watered down his message. Instead, he focused on integrity, truth, and celebrating the complexity of identity. Whether profiling a hip-hop legend, chronicling the history of graffiti, or diving into social issues through his creative lens, Sasha's work carried the power to educate, empower, and move people. Those who knew him personally speak of a man who was as generous as he was brilliant. He mentored young creatives, supported local artists, and always kept the door open for anyone trying to find their voice. His laughter was contagious, his intellect unmatched, and his presence unforgettable. Sasha Jenkins may have left this world, but the culture he celebrated and shaped will forever carry his fingerprints. He gave a platform to the voiceless, held up a mirror to society, and reminded the world that hip-hop isn't just music, it's history, identity, and revolution. Roger Nichols. Roger Nichols, a pioneering recording engineer, producer, and technical innovator in the music world, passed away at the age of 78. Best known for his legendary work with Steely Dan, Nichols helped shape the sound of an era. One where precision, artistry, and innovation met in perfect harmony. His meticulous approach and groundbreaking techniques earned him not only critical acclaim but a permanent place in music history. Born in Oakland, California, Roger showed an early fascination with electronics and sound. Long before he stepped into a recording studio, he was building radios and experimenting with homemade audio gear. After studying nuclear physics at college, his path took a unique turn toward the music world, but his scientific mind never left him. In fact, it became his secret weapon. His background in engineering allowed him to approach recording with a precision that few in the industry could match. In the 1970s, Nichols began collaborating with the band Steely Dan, whose perfectionist tendencies matched his own. Together, they created some of the most sonically pristine albums in rock history, including Aya, Gaucho, and The Royal Scam. Nichols wasn't just a sound engineer, he was a sonic sculptor. His ability to capture subtle nuances, balance complex arrangements, and maintain clarity through every note made him an indispensable part of the band's core team. One of his most remarkable contributions to music was his work with digital recording long before it became standard. Nichols was a pioneer in the development of early digital recording technology, and he was among the first to adopt and advocate for it in the industry. He even developed his own digital drum replacement system, Wendell, which was revolutionary at the time and helped Steely Dan achieve their ultra-clean drum sounds without compromising musical integrity. Beyond Steely Dan, Nichols worked with legends such as John Denver, Frank Zappa, and Crosby, Stills and Nash. His versatility across genres, his patience in the studio, and his relentless pursuit of excellence made him a sought-after collaborator. But despite all the awards, including multiple Grammys, Roger remained deeply humble, always crediting the artists and his team over himself. Outside of the studio, Nichols was known for his wit, intellect, and generous mentorship. He wrote extensively about recording techniques, hoping to pass his knowledge on to future generations. To many young engineers and producers, he was both a guide and a hero, someone who proved that art and science could live in perfect sync. Roger Nichols' passing is more than just the loss of a technician, it is the loss of a visionary who helped define modern sound. His fingerprints remain on some of the greatest records ever made, and his influence resonates every time a perfect mix plays through a speaker. In the silence that follows, his legacy speaks louder than ever. Paul Williams. Paul Williams, the diminutive yet towering figure in the world of songwriting, acting, and advocacy, passed away at the age of 84. A creative force whose lyrics helped define a generation of music and film, Williams left behind a legacy that transcends genres, platforms, and decades. Whether writing heartfelt ballads or voicing beloved characters, Paul had a gift for touching souls with simplicity and sincerity. Born in Omaha, Nebraska, Paul Williams lost his father at a young age and was raised by relatives in California. It was during these formative years that he discovered a deep passion for writing, music, and performing. Though his height often led to typecasting in Hollywood, his talent was impossible to overlook. He embraced his uniqueness, turning it into a signature that helped distinguish him in an industry where originality is everything. In the 1970s, Paul Williams became a household name through his extraordinary songwriting. He penned classics like We've Only Just Begun and Rainy Days and Mondays for the Carpenters, Evergreen for Barbra Streisand, which won an Academy Award, and The Rainbow Connection for The Muppet Movie, a song that would go on to become one of the most cherished children's ballads of all time. His work earned him Grammy Awards, an Oscar, and the admiration of artists and fans across the globe. Beyond songwriting, Paul was also a talented performer and actor. He appeared in films like Phantom of the Paradise, Smokey and the Bandit, and guest-starred on numerous TV shows throughout the 70s and 80s. His quirky, warm presence made him a beloved fixture on variety shows and talk shows, where he often performed or simply charmed audiences with his gentle wit and humor. Despite his fame, Paul faced struggles with substance abuse, a battle he spoke about openly in later years. After achieving sobriety, he dedicated much of his life to recovery advocacy. He served as president and chairman of the board for ASCAP, American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, fighting for artists' rights and mentoring new generations of songwriters. His story of resilience, creativity, and redemption inspired many far beyond the entertainment industry. Paul Williams lived a life full of music, meaning, and courage. He once said, "The simple act of being yourself is a beautiful thing." And he lived that truth in everything he did, whether writing a love song or standing up for fellow creators. He will be remembered not only for the melodies he gave the world but for the light he brought to so many lives. Herb Alpert. Herb Alpert, the legendary trumpeter, composer, and co-founder of A&M Records, passed away at the age of 89. A man whose music added rhythm to life and whose business acumen reshaped the music industry, Herb leaves behind a legacy that is both rich in melody and profound in impact. He wasn't just a musician, he was a visionary who turned brass into gold, sound into sensation. Born in Los Angeles, California, Herb discovered his love for music early on, picking up the trumpet at the age of 8. What began as a curiosity soon evolved into a passion that would carry him through a lifetime of creativity and success. His breakthrough came in the 1960s with the formation of Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, a group that fused Latin rhythms with American pop in a style that was both innovative and irresistible. Their debut album The Lonely Bull sparked a musical revolution. The group's sound was fresh, festive, and full of energy, capturing the imagination of listeners across the globe. Herb's music had the unique ability to transcend boundaries, bringing people together across cultures and generations. With hits like A Taste of Honey, Spanish Flea, and This Guy's in Love with You, Alpert not only topped charts but also became a household name. But Herb's brilliance wasn't limited to the stage or studio. Alongside Jerry Moss, he co-founded A&M Records in 1962, a label that would become home to artists like the Carpenters, Janet Jackson, The Police, and Sting. Alpert's philosophy was simple: trust the artist. That approach helped build A&M into one of the most artist-friendly and successful independent labels in history. Over the years, Herb Alpert collected an astonishing array of accolades: 9 Grammy Awards, a National Medal of Arts, and over 70 million records sold. Yet despite the fame and fortune, he remained humble and grounded. He was a patron of the arts, generously donating to music education and community programs through the Herb Alpert Foundation. In his later years, Herb never stopped creating. He continued to perform, record new music, and exhibit his visual art, proving that his creative flame never dimmed. For Herb, music wasn't just a profession, it was a way of life, a means of expression, and a bridge to deeper human connection. Herb Alpert's trumpet may have gone silent, but the echoes of his genius will continue to play in the hearts of millions. He gave the world more than just music, he gave it joy, color, and a sound uniquely his own. Arte Johnson. Arte Johnson, the beloved American actor and comedian best known for his unforgettable work on the sketch comedy show Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, passed away at the age of 90. A master of voices, disguises, and punchlines, Arte left behind a legacy that redefined television comedy in the late 1960s and early 70s. His unique humor, quirky characters, and sharp timing made him one of the most distinctive and cherished faces in television history. Born Arthur Stanton Eric Johnson in Benton Harbor, Michigan, Arte's path to show business was far from predictable. He studied journalism at the University of Illinois, but the call of performance quickly pulled him toward the stage. After a stint in the Army and several early roles in radio and TV, Johnson's big break came with Laugh-In, where his outlandish characters and biting humor became an overnight sensation. His most iconic creation was undoubtedly the German soldier Wolfgang, who would pop out from behind a potted plant, squinting through his monocle, and deliver the catchphrase, "Very interesting, but stupid." It became one of the most quoted lines in American television, earning Arte a permanent spot in the pantheon of comedy legends. But his genius wasn't confined to just one character, his range extended to dozens of bizarre and hilarious roles, from elderly lovers to lecherous old men, each with a voice, a posture, and a presence all their own. What made Arte truly stand out was his intelligence behind the humor. He was meticulous about his timing and deeply involved in crafting his bits, often contributing ideas to the writer's room and pushing the boundaries of what television comedy could be. His work earned him an Emmy Award and countless accolades from fans and peers alike. After Laugh-In, Johnson continued to act in films, lend his voice to animated shows, and make memorable guest appearances on various sitcoms and variety programs. But he was also known for his warmth off-screen, a quiet, thoughtful man who loved literature, history, and spending time with his family. His comedic brilliance never overshadowed his decency and kindness, which endeared him even more to those who knew him personally. In his later years, Arte stepped away from the spotlight but remained active in theater and voiceover work, always returning to the craft that made him a star. He continued to inspire younger comedians and actors with his body of work and by simply being a living example of creativity done right. Arte Johnson's passing marks the end of an era in comedy, a time when laughter was bold, unapologetically weird, and delightfully human. But his laughter lives on, echoing in the jokes, skits, and memories he left behind. Georgia O'Connor. Georgia O'Connor, a rising star in the world of boxing and a symbol of resilience and inspiration in British sports, passed away at the tender age of 23. Her death has left an immense void, not just in the boxing community but also in the hearts of those who admired her fighting spirit, both in and outside the ring. Born in County Durham, England, Georgia discovered boxing at a young age. What began as a way to stay active and channel energy quickly turned into a passion that would shape her life. By her teenage years, she was already making waves in amateur boxing, collecting titles and medals across national and international platforms. Her discipline, fierce work ethic, and natural talent marked her as one of Britain's most promising boxing talents. Georgia wasn't just a fighter, she was a storyteller through every punch she threw. Her movements inside the ring spoke volumes about her commitment to the craft. In 2017, she captured attention when she won a silver medal at the Youth World Championships, becoming one of only a few British female boxers to reach such heights at that level. Her performances were not only about victory, but about grit, poise, and perseverance. Behind her athletic success was a young woman who carried a quiet strength. Georgia often spoke candidly about her mental health struggles and the pressure athletes face in high-performance environments. Rather than hide her battles, she used her platform to speak up, becoming a voice for others who felt unheard. Her bravery in confronting personal challenges off the ring made her an icon of authenticity and courage. In 2021, Georgia transitioned into the professional boxing world. Her debut match was a success, and she continued to build an undefeated record, showing the same dedication and tenacity that had defined her amateur career. Experts saw her as a future world champion, a woman who had the potential to redefine British boxing's landscape. Her passing came as a shock. Tributes from fellow boxers, coaches, and fans flooded in, each remembering her not just for her fists, but for her heart. The boxing community lost more than an athlete, they lost a role model, a warrior, and a young woman who fought every battle with integrity. Georgia O'Connor's story was just beginning, but even in her short time, she touched countless lives. Her legacy will live on through the inspiration she gave young girls who dare to dream big, fight hard, and live true to themselves. O.J. Simpson. Orenthal James, O.J. Simpson, one of the most polarizing figures in American sports and pop culture, passed away at the age of 76 after a battle with cancer. Known for his incredible prowess on the football field and later as a charismatic media personality, O.J.'s life became a whirlwind of fame, controversy, and legal battles that captivated the world for decades. Born in San Francisco in 1947, O.J. grew up in a working-class family and faced early challenges, including rickets as a child. But those early struggles only fueled his competitive spirit. At the University of Southern California, USC, he became a football phenomenon, winning the Heisman Trophy in 1968 and setting records that stood for years. His combination of speed, strength, and vision made him a standout, someone the nation couldn't ignore. Simpson was drafted by the Buffalo Bills in 1969 and quickly became a household name in the NFL. In 1973, he made history by becoming the first player to rush over 2,000 yards in a single season, a feat all the more remarkable because it happened in just 14 games. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1985, solidifying his place among the all-time greats. Beyond sports, O.J. leveraged his charisma to transition into acting and broadcasting. He appeared in commercials, movies like The Naked Gun series, and served as a football analyst. For many, he was more than just an athlete, he was a celebrity who transcended sports. However, his life took a dramatic and tragic turn in 1994 when he was accused of the murders of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman. The televised trial became one of the most watched events in history, dividing public opinion across racial and social lines. Though acquitted in criminal court, Simpson was later found liable in civil court. In 2007, he was again thrust into the legal spotlight after a botched attempt to retrieve memorabilia in Las Vegas resulted in a robbery conviction. He served nearly a decade in prison before being released on parole in 2017. Despite the controversies, O.J. remained a topic of fascination, discussed and debated across generations. His story reflects the complex intersections of fame, race, justice, and redemption in America. O.J. Simpson's life was nothing short of cinematic, a tale of triumph, tragedy, and turbulent legacy. Whether remembered as a football icon or a symbol of America's complicated cultural landscape, he leaves behind a story that will be discussed for decades to come.